This drunken review is brought to you by mimosas. Mimosas. That thing you drank 20 years ago at brunch that you're now paying tuition for 20 years later. Mimosas. I usually start off a video with a little backstory on how I ended up with this figure, but I really don't have one. I went to Target. I went there to get swimsuits for the kids for the summer. Yeah, this guy was. So I got him. So cool. But realistically, it was just I couldn't find him online. It was a battle. So yeah. But yeah, Grimlock, Studio Series 86 Grimlock, leader class. This guy's really good. He's really good. I'd been fighting with bots and all these different people online every time it came available on Target online, and I've come so close so many times to get to the checkout and it's not there, and it's like, oh, try again another time, but this time, nope, he was just in the store, and he is absolutely glorious. Articulation for this mode is pretty slick, I gotta say. He has the arms. His arms can move up and down, do a 360. The little tiny T-Rex arms, they're so cute. And the legs have a pretty good range of motion because of the way they designed them, because they're also the arms, but they, rather than limit the movement like Snapdragon, they actually allowed you to move the leg back and forth. And then the claws are movable as well and posable. And yeah, he's a pretty clean, slick figure. He comes with a couple of accessories. The gun is a standard issue Grimlock gun. There's nothing special about it. It has some pretty good molded in detail, but it's just their standard Grimlock gun. But we have to talk about the more controversial portion of the accessories, the wheelie that it comes with. Let's be honest, the head sculpt is pretty awesome. If it can zoom in, if it clears up, the head sculpt pretty awesome. The Autobot logo, the color scheme. He has his little slingshot that he had in the movie. He's a pretty, all honesty, he was literally 4 ball joints away from being an awesome figure. But they chose not to. Though he can, his arms can do a 360, his head can swivel back and forth, and his legs can open and close. Seriously, he's 4 ball joints away from being a damn perfect accessory for Studio Series Grimlock. 4 ball joints. Think about that for a second. And he can ride on Grimlock's back. Hashtag yawn. Posing for this figure include, but are not limited to, having a fire-breathing duel with Skylynx, me Grimlock kick butt, me Grimlock crush you with tail, and actually putting a real Transformer on top of Grimlock's shoulders. So go Hot Rod. And for a quick size comparison, we have Grimlock next to Skylynx, Paleotrex, and Snapdragon. Next to Earthrise, Optimus Prime, and Kingdom Cyclonus. And the rest of the Studio Series 86 cast that I currently own. Transformation for this guy is essentially what you would expect from any transformation from any Grimlock ever. It's pretty basic, but it's just so satisfying to do. This is seriously what I want from a Grimlock, a basic transformation that is just fun to do over and over and over again. And then you end up with probably the best mainline Grimlock we've ever gotten. The face sculpt is perfect. Articulation for this figure, his head is on a ball joint, can do the full 360. He can look up that far, look down that far. His wrist can rotate. His arms can go back that far, but are restricted by the wings. His elbow can bend because of the transformation, the way they did the joint, it actually can pop in and go both ways.
That's what she said.
And the legs can go forward that far, can go back that far for full range. And he also can do the supreme Van Damme. I mean, that's supreme. The ankles also have a ankle pivot, which is pretty cool, pretty clean ankle pivot, and the wings are posable, as well as a full rotation at the hips. Revisiting the weapons, Willie can sit on his shoulder, #yawn. And posing in robot mode include, but are not limited to, actually having a real transformer on his shoulders. A real transformer. Go Hot Rod. And if I could begin a real quick rant about this figure, I decided for the size comparison, I went and got some older figures, some older leader class figures. So I got Overlord and Optimal Optimus, and I mean, look at them. They're not standing shoulder to shoulder, but they're damn close. And I mean, you know, we've been getting these much more compact figures, and I'm sorry, but this figure, this Grimlock, just blew the entire argument out of the water. You can give us a high quality, larger figure for $50. There's no excuse. There's seriously no excuse for these tiny figures costing more, all for the sake of profit. I mean, the posability is exactly the same. And look at this this is a leader class prime next to them. Oh, come on Hasbro, come on Hasbro. Thank you for indulging me for that little bit, but final thoughts on this figure. It is a great figure. I have Blur and Jazz on the way, and I mean, honestly, this guy and Hot Rod, there's no topping them. I don't know what they have in store for the next group of figures, but I mean, Hot Rod and Grimlock have completely knocked it out of the park. Grimlock is damn near a perfect leader. There's minor flaws, very minor flaws, like the hollowness in the arms, but they make up for it with wrists that can actually rotate in the robot mode. And the Dino mode, the gap in the front two teeth are pretty unforgivable, but I mean, it's small things. It's very small, nitpicky things, but I mean, it's a fun figure. It's an incredibly fun figure, and I'd have to give this one a 10 out of 10 in my book. It's pretty much perfect. I can actually overlook the minor flaws because you get so much with it, and the wheelie, yeah, 4 ball joints, 2 in the arms, 2 in the legs, and this is a perfect accessory. That's it. That's all they needed to do. Other than that, I mean, great figure. If you have a chance to get it, go get it. But yeah, with that said, stay safe, be good, and this is the Drunken Prime, cracking open a beer and signing off.